Hello and welcome to Nightline. I'm Brandon Wong. The top stories. Worsening haze, all schools in KL, Putrajaya, Selangor and Pulau Pinang closed till Friday. And government to act against Malaysian companies responsible for haze, says Prime Minister. Good morning. The Education Ministry on Wednesday ordered all schools and kindergartens in Selangor, Pulau Pinang, Putrajaya and Kuala Lumpur to be closed until Friday due to the worsening haze conditions. The closure involves a total of 1,484 schools affecting over 1 million students nationwide. Meanwhile, for the higher learning institutions, Education Minister Dr. Mazli Malik said it is up to their administrators to decide whether to close or not.
Pengetua dan guru besar boleh mengumumkan penutupan sekolah sekiranya pada pandangan mereka keadaan jerebu semakin teruk dan berdasarkan trend bacaan IPU pada hari tersebut. Maksudnya diberikan kuasa kepada pengetua dan guru besar. Jikalau mereka lihat walaupun 180, 190 tapi dilihat trend semakin meningkat, mereka diberikan kuasa untuk mengumumkan penutupan sekolah. Begitunya sekiranya sekolah diumumkan tutup, setelah pengajaran dan pembelajaran berjalan, murid-murid masih boleh berada di sekolah dan PDP akan berjalan seperti biasa sehinggalah waktu sekolah bagi sesi tersebut. Kecuali kalau mak bapak ingin mengambil pulang, mereka dibenarkan.
As for the teachers, they can opt to work from home if their school is closed. Mazli also said classes do not have to be replaced as it is considered disaster leave. On Wednesday, 538 schools in Selangor were closed, followed by Sarawak 337 schools and Perak with 303 closures. The four other states are Pulau Pinang with 162 closures, Kuala Lumpur 66 schools, Negeri Sembilan 53 schools and Putrajaya 25. The worsening haze has also affected 19 flights at the Pulau Pinang International Airport in Bayan Lepas on Wednesday. According to its senior airport manager, Muhammad Nazim Hashim, 4 flights were cancelled while 15 were delayed or diverted to nearby destinations. Muhammad Nazim said the 4 flights which were cancelled were Singapore and Taipei return flights. On the flight diversions, he said a flight from Singapore was diverted to Medan in Indonesia, while a flight from Taipei was diverted to Langkawi, with 3 others from Bangkok, Hong Kong and Taipei diverted to Kuala Lumpur. He further added that 8 flights from Pulau Pinang to 6 destinations had to be delayed, while 2 flights from Medan and Kuala Lumpur had to be returned back due to low visibility. Also affected were 5 cargo flights to Pulau Pinang, which had to be diverted to Kuala Lumpur, Langkawi and Medan. Meanwhile, in Perak, more than 1,000 passengers were affected after all flights at the Sultan Azlan Shah Airport, LTSAS, in Perak were cancelled due to the haze on Wednesday. Airport manager Muhammad Ali Osman said the decision was made when visibility in the area worsened from 1,500 metres this morning to 800 metres in the afternoon.
Berdasarkan bacaan jarak penglihatan pagi itu 1,500. So maka kita telah belajar daripada pengalaman pada 13 hari bulan. Maka decision tu dibuat daripada awal. Dan alhamdulillah kita pihak airlines, operasi airlines ni menganggarkan situasi penglihatan ni akan menurun dan mendapat input daripada pihak kaji cuaca atau meteorologi. So bacaan ni falls kepada 800 pada petang ni. So dalam tempoh tersebut maka decision untuk demi keselamatan pesawat dan penumpang, maka mereka decide untuk cancel the flight.
The flights, which were cancelled since 9:45 a.m., involved AirAsia's Singapore-Ipoh-Johor Bahru route, Malindo's Ipoh-Johor Bahru-Ipoh route, and the Singapore-Ipoh-Singapore route by Fly Scoot, Singapore's low-cost carrier. The area around the airport were found to be less crowded as many passengers decided to travel by land to reach their destinations. In other news, cloud seeding operations scheduled for Wednesday and Thursday have been postponed. Meteorological Department Director General Jailan Simon said the operation to reduce the ongoing haze had to be postponed due to the dry atmosphere and strong winds.
Kita memang telah buat semalam dan kita jangka hari ini dan esok kita juga akan laksanakan pembenihan awan di sekitar kawasan-kawasan yang API dia melebihi 200 di Semenanjung, terutamanya di kawasan Selangor dan juga di Negeri Sembilan. Tetapi setelah kita lihat pagi tadi, kita dapati bahawa keadaan atmosfera kurang sesuai disebabkan terlalu kering dan juga angin di paras pembenihan awan itu terlalu kuat. Jadi kita batalkan.
He added that the cloud seeding operations would only be carried out once the weather conditions are conducive. Among the factors to be considered to carry out the cloud seeding operations are clouds, suitable wind conditions and the right humidity level. Meanwhile, the Prime Minister on Wednesday warned that action will be taken against Malaysian companies engaged in open burning in Indonesia, which was said to have contributed to the raging fires in Sumatra and Kalimantan, leading to current cross-border haze. Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad pointed out that such companies must be made responsible for the fires in their properties, even if it's outside Malaysia.
We did discuss about Jeroboam. We think that we should publicize the actual effect more through government statements, showing where the hotspots are. We also want to take action against those Malaysian companies which have estates outside Malaysia which are contributing towards the haze because of burning in their estates. We will ask them to take action to put out the fires. But of course, if we find that they are unwilling to take action, we may have to pass a law which will make them responsible for fires in their property, even if it's outside Malaysia.
The Prime Minister spoke to the media after launching the foreign policy framework of the new Malaysia in Putrajaya. Indonesia's Environmental Affairs and Forestry Minister Siti Nurbaya Bakar was quoted as saying that several palm oil companies believed to have been responsible for the Indonesian forest fires were subsidiaries of Malaysian groups. Jakarta was said to have sealed off plantations operated by at least 30 companies and brought criminal charges against 4. Tun Dr. Mahathir said he did not write any letter yet to Indonesian President Joko Widodo on the haze issue. The Prime Minister also said Malaysia has taken a few measures in tackling the effect of the haze, such as cloud seeding, confining people in houses and closing schools. But there is also a need to find new ways to reduce the haze. Earlier, Indonesian President Joko Widodo had expressed regret over efforts by district authorities in handling forest fires, which had caused severe haze in Kalimantan, Riau and Jambi.
Segala upaya sudah kita lakukan, tetapi memang yang paling benar itu adalah pencegahan. Sebelum kejadian ini api satu langsung padamkan, satu padam, itu yang benar. Tapi ini sudah karena kita berhadapan dengan hutan yang luas, berhadapan dengan lahan gambut yang luas. Kalau sudah apinya sudah banyak seperti ini memang tidak mudah.
According to the Antara report, people were angry that Riau Governor Shamsua and Pekanbaru Mayor Firdaus were abroad even as the haze situation was worsening. Beginning January, more than 42,000 hectares of forest and plantation land in several provinces in Indonesia have been on fire. Indonesian reports claim that 2 people died in the wake of the haze. Meanwhile, the police is ready to assist the Department of Environment, DOE, if there are requests to curb open burning activity in the country. Inspector General of Police Tan Sri Abdul Hamid Bado, however, said there have been no arrests on such activity so far.
We have been assisting the Environment Department, so that's it. As long as there's a special request for this one, we'll come in. We are ready to assist. We will take action when there is a clear breaking of the law. We will take action.
Tan Sri Abdul Hamid said this to reporters after the launching of the foreign policy framework of the new Malaysia by Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad at Perdana Putra on Wednesday. He was asked whether police would take action against those who conduct open burning, as several hotspots were detected in this country. On September 11th, the DOE imposed a ban on open burning in the whole country except for cremation, religious purposes, grilling or barbecue, and flaring until the end of the southwest monsoon period. The ban has been imposed in accordance with the powers vested with the Director General of Environmental Quality as per Section 29AA, Bracket 2 of the Environmental Quality Act 1974. In a bid to tackle challenges and explore new opportunities in Malaysia's foreign policy, the Prime Minister on Tuesday launched the foreign policy framework of the new Malaysia. Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad said Malaysia will now approach certain issues affecting its interests under 3 approaches outlined by the framework.
We are living in a world where changes take place at a very rapid pace. These changes bring both challenges and opportunities. It is therefore only logical that Malaysia does not stick to the traditional methods of engagements and instead proactively seek to explore new approaches.
Tun Dr. Mahathir added the framework had captured the salient issues that he raised in his speech at the 73rd session of the United Nations General Assembly last year. Tun Dr. Mahathir gave the assurance that Malaysia will continue to pursue an independent, principled and pragmatic foreign policy founded on the values of peace, humanity, justice and equality. The Datuk Sri Muhammad Najib Tun Razak 1MDB trial. The former special officer to Datuk Sri Najib, Datuk Amhari Effendi Nasaruddin, on Wednesday admitted that he had received pocket money from fugitive businessman Lau Teck Jo during official overseas trips. The 8 prosecution witness said Lau or Jo Lo gave him thousands of dollars during such overseas trips. Datuk Amhari said the money was for travel expenses when accompanying Datuk Sri Najib, who was then the Prime Minister, during official trips. He said Lau gave him money on several occasions but could only recall the trips to New York and London. Under cross-examination by Datuk Sri Najib's lead counsel, Tan Sri Muhammad Shafi Abdullah, Datuk Amhari said Lau would usually be there during the trips. Asked whether other officials received money from Lau, the witness said he did not know. He added that Lau did not give the money to him openly. On the $200,000 loan he took from Lau, Datuk Amhari said he did not know that the transfer of foreign money into a local bank account would be flagged by the central bank. Despite previously working with Bank Negara Malaysia, the witness said he was unaware of the regulation. He added that Maybank gave him a call to query about the money that was wired into his Maybank current account on April the 5th, 2011. But there was no follow-up call after that, and he assumed that nothing was wrong. Asked whether he knew that it was an offence to bring in money from abroad without clearance from the central bank, the witness said he was not. The trial continues on Thursday before High Court Judge Colin Lawrence Sequeira. Datuk Sri Najib is facing 4 charges of having used his position to obtain gratification totalling 2.3 billion ringgit in 1MDB funds and 21 counts of money laundering involving the same money. AirAsia Group Berhad co-founder, the Group Chief Executive Officer Tan Sri Tony Fernandes is to step down from all his positions except in AirAsia Group and AirAsia X. He, however, did not say when this would happen. In a tweet on Wednesday, he said the decision was taken to move up the next generation of AirAsia leaders to the forefront. Last month, AirAsia announced a leadership reorganization in support of its transformation into a travel and financial platform company and build AirAsia.com into a lifestyle brand. Tan Sri Fernandes doubles up as CEO of AirAsia.com, AirAsia's travel and lifestyle e-commerce platform, with an eye to opening or appointing a new CEO who will report to him in due course.
For people to load their bags. It's kind of a cheat. So we keep our block times very tight.
Malaysia-based Malindo Air and its Indonesian parent company, Lion Air, suffered a massive data breach, resulting in the personal data of millions of passengers being leaked onto a data exchange forum last month. Malindo Air CEO Chandra Ramamurthy, in a statement, confirmed the leak, saying that the airline was in the middle of carrying out an investigation into the matter. The breach, involving the details of around 30 million passengers of Malindo and fellow Lion Group subsidiary Thai Lion Air, was discovered by Moscow-based cybersecurity firm Kaspersky Lab. The files were uploaded and stored in an open Amazon Web Services bucket, a public cloud storage resource. The data leak reportedly included passport details, home addresses and phone numbers of passengers, though the exact number of people affected is yet unknown. Malindo Air, in a statement, also advised customers with online frequent flyer accounts to change their passwords. Lorry driver faces 12 charges, including rape. This and more home stories after this breather. Welcome back. The Kuala Lumpur Sharia High Court will, on October 14, decide whether to hear the contempt case by Nazar Group Executive Chairman against Petaling Jaya MP Maria Chin Abdullah over her criticism of the Sharia Court's decision to jail his ex-wife. Sharia High Court Judge Muhammad Fauzi Mokhtar fixed the date after a hearing on Tuesday on the ex parte application for leave filed by Datuk SM Faisal SM Nasimuddin. He made the application on September the 10th following Maria's media statement entitled "Emilia Hanifi's sentencing proves injustice against Muslim women still exists in the legal system," published on September the 5th. In the statement, Maria commented on the 7-day jail sentence against Emilia, Datuk Faisal's ex-wife, and claimed the Sharia legal system was still discriminatory against Muslim women. The couple were divorced in 2016, with Emilia maintaining full custody of their 3 children and Datuk Faisal having visitation rights. In Pahang, a 27-year-old lorry driver pleaded not guilty at the Kuantan Sessions and Magistrates Courts on Wednesday after he was slapped with 12 charges, including robbery, rape and impersonating a policeman since June this year. The accused, Harsono Bakri, made the plea after the charge was read before Sessions Court Judge Saslina Safi and Magistrate Nurul Faraha Muhammad Suah. The accused was charged with 7 counts of robbery and 1 count each of raping and molesting and 1 count of impersonating a police officer. Harsono allegedly committed the offences between June the 16th and August the 2nd at several locations around Kuantan, involving female victims in their 20s. The Sessions Court freed the accused on a 71,000 ringgit bail for all charges with 1 surety and fixed October 17 for remention of the case. At the Magistrates Court, Harsono was charged with outraging the modesty of a woman and impersonating a policeman in Kuantan on July the 12th. The court also fixed October 17 for remention of the case. In Terengganu, 2 friends will be spending 2 weeks behind bars for stealing 2 Persian cats. 26-year-old Ahmad Al-Haziknawi and Muhammad Hafiz Muhammad, aged 36, were also fined 2,000 ringgit each by the Kuala Terengganu Magistrates Court. The duo had earlier pleaded guilty to the charge of voluntarily disposing of 2 Persian cats, which were stolen. The offence was committed at Katie Aquarium at Jalan Sultan Mahmud, Kuala Terengganu on September the 9th. The duo could spend another month in jail if they failed to pay the fines. In Pahang, 2 buildings, including a restaurant, were damaged in a fire at Berjaya Tioman Resort in Pulau Tioman on Wednesday. A fire and rescue department spokesman said the 2 buildings, consisting 8 rooms, were completely razed during the 2:30 a.m. incident. Checks revealed the fire began from a guest room before it spread to nearby units, including a karaoke room and restaurant. No injuries were reported during the fire. Netanyahu alliance fails to win majority in Israeli election. Stay tuned. And we move on to our foreign segment. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's gamble to hold elections for a second time this year has backfired after his ruling Likud party and his allies failed to garner a majority of seats in the legislature. With 92% of votes counted, Netanyahu's main rival Benny Gantz Kahol Lavan won 32 out of 120 Knesset seats, with Likud behind with 31 seats. Netanyahu's bloc, comprising right-wing and ultra-orthodox parties, currently stands at 55 seats, while 2 left-wing parties are on course to win a total of 11 seats. With no single-party majority in the 120-seat Knesset or parliament, there will likely be weeks of coalition talks before a new government is formed. The secular nationalist Israeli Buletin, with 9 seats, could also become the kingmaker in the difficult coalition talks ahead. Meanwhile, the Joint List, an alliance of Arab parties, is set to become the 3rd largest force in the legislature with 12 seats. Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte has offered a big bounty for hundreds of convicted murderers and rapists set free in a Corrections Bureau blunder, and said he would be happier if they were caught dead rather than alive. Duterte said there was a prize of $1 million pesos, or $19,175 for tracking down each convict still at large, after less than 700 of them heeded his call for surrender. The $1 million prize is available to those who can capture them dead or alive. Duterte is a former mayor and prosecutor who boasted he would kill as many as 100,000 criminals if he became president. Since his election, he has become known for a bloody war on drugs, during which police have killed thousands of mostly urban poor dealers and users. The release under a good behavior reward program of more than 1,700 criminals guilty of mostly violent offences has been a huge embarrassment for the crime-busting leader, elected almost entirely on promises to make the streets safer. Activists say many of the killings were executions, but police deny this. The Tongan Rugby World Cup squad delighted fellow passengers on board a flight when they broke into harmonious singing after landing in Sapporo, Japan, ahead of their first World Cup match against England on Sunday. Let's take a look.